corporate greed is really the issue. Check it out. That's right, man. Corporate greed has been ruining gaming. I mean, within this gaming space, we have had some of the greatest games to come out in a very long time. Like 2025 is definitely one of the greatest years in gaming. But let's talk about Saints Row real quick, because we could have had possibly a masterpiece, something great on our hands, but corporate greed definitely got in the way of that shit, man. Because did y'all know that the Saints Row reboot wasn't supposed to be a reboot? It was originally supposed to be a sequel to Saints Row the Third, and we did not get that. You know why? Because of corporate fucking greed, man. And like it says right here in the first paragraph, the details about the Saints Row reboot originally being a sequel come from Mr. Saints Godzilla 21's video on YouTube. In this video, the creator discusses their 2019 visit to Volition's development studio, highlighting every detail, story point, or other aspect that was cut or changed during the transition from a sequel to a reboot. The game was to be called Saints Row Cinco and would arrive as a direct sequel to Saints Row the Third. What the fuck, bruh? Why didn't we get this shit? And now I can probably, make the connection on why the Saints Row reboot was so fucking bare bones, man. Like, that's one of the worst games I ever played in my life. You understand what I'm saying? And I was so excited. I remember I was streaming and I played Saints Rows 1 through 4 just to build up the hype to get the Saints Row reboot, and it was so fucking disappointing when I got to that game. But now I understand why. So like it says right here in the third paragraph, moreover, the developers intended to make this a fan service game, checking off all the things they had requested over the years. The Saints Row sequel will follow a 20-80 rule for its tone, where 20% of it will be inspired by Saints Row the Third and 80% by Saints Row 2. There was also a secret mission in the game where players would have the chance to confront and kill Dex. That would have been fucking fire, because I definitely wanted to know what happened to Dex after Saints Row 2. You understand what I'm saying? And to be able to kill that man because he definitely was a traitor, that would have been lit, bruh. To continue, the Saints Row sequel was so far in development that Pierce's actor had recorded some of the lines for it too. But like it says right here, things had changed because THQ Nordic had acquired Deep Silver. It says that with the former outright rejecting the sequel idea and forcing Volition to go back to the drawing board. For the new story, heavy restrictions were placed on what the characters would be able to say, including swear words. Now I understand why this game turned out the way it was. They basically stripped the full essence of what Saints Row was and turned it into whatever the fuck they wanted to, bro. Whatever the fuck THQ had wanted it to be, it was garbage, and they ruined it for themselves, man. But I got an interesting thing, man. Like it says right here by Ethos on Twitter, he said, now this might be just a conspiracy, but if all of this is true, I have a sinking suspicion that the executives intentionally sunk it so that they could use it as an excuse to close the studio. And he asked for thoughts from DX, and DX responded and said, Volition and Deep Silver always had a horrible relationship, so probably. Crazy as hell, man. And then they said that the direction that Deep Silver had wanted to go with the Saints Row sequel, it was gonna be too violent, as if Saints Rows 1, 2, and 3, and 4 wasn't violent already. That was the whole essence behind the game. What the fuck? THQ, I hate y'all for that shit. I ain't gonna lie. But you let me know in the comments, are you upset that we potentially missed out on a great game with the Saints Row the Third sequel?